I just really need some water.
How are you?
Wait! Stop! Wait! Dean, wait!
In the opening scenes, a girl named Annie Finelli is buying cutlery along with her husband-to-be, Luke Harrison. As they leave the store, Annie sees two women who had been eyeing Luke, and, as possessive as she is, she ends up kissing Luke in front of them. While having lunch later, Annie can't divert her attention from the knife she's using to eat. As Luke leaves to go to the bathroom, Annie eats up the rest of the pizza and keeps it a secret from him. After the gym, Annie is seen with her friend named Nell Rutherford, who makes her take the subway since she was getting late, despite Annie's protest. Inside the subway, Annie gets a flashback of someone breaking into a window and shooting. Suddenly, the lights inside the subway go out, and Annie gets anxious. However, the lights come back on soon enough, and she calms down. It is revealed that Annie works in a magazine company as a writer. She runs into another woman named Eleanor Whitman, whom she's not very fond of. At work, she manages to impress her boss, who tells her that she will get her name featured on the masterpiece of the New York Times Magazine. After that, she is visited by Aaron, a documentary filmmaker who wants to know more about the shooting incident that happened in her school. He reveals to her that people want to know if she was a hero or an accomplice in the incident. Apparently, her former classmate Dean accused her of being an accomplice, and Aaron wants to know her side of the story. He tells her about uncovering the different sides of the story and assures her that their work together will not cause her further harm. But she doesn't buy it and prompts him to leave. We're taken to Annie's past, where she just got into the school where the shooting incident happened back in 1999. During break time, she comes across Hillary, who tells Annie to join the rest of them. She meets the rest of her friends, including Dean, Patan, Liam, and Olivia, who are all very popular. Olivia insults Annie by calling her a financial aid kid. Arthur, Annie's friend, takes her to another table to protect her from the popular kids. Back in the present, Annie is watching a morning show featuring Dean, who is telling everyone about the details of the shooting that occurred at his school. As Luke comes back home from work, he informs Annie about a job offer in London, but Annie isn't interested since she's close to getting what she wants. Annie gets another flashback from her past at her school's dance event. There, Arthur gets in trouble for bringing alcohol to school and is taken away by his teacher from the dance floor. Meanwhile, Hillary takes Annie outside, away from the dance floor. They meet up with the boys outside. Back in the present, Annie is trying out her wedding outfit in front of her mother, Dina. She ends up getting into an argument with Dina and leaves the boutique angrily. After that, Annie receives a call from Aaron but doesn't accept it. That's when Nell asks her about her plans on exposing Dean for what he did to her, but Annie still doesn't feel ready for it. Later at work, Annie finds a mean comment left under one of her pictures by a woman named Hannah Ross. It is revealed that the woman is Liam Ross's aunt, one of the victims of the school shooting. Annie has another flashback where she's present in Dean's house along with a bunch of other students, and all of them are having a party. Hillary has to leave since her mom is here. She wants Annie to leave with her, but she's stopped by Liam, who won't let her go. Back in the present, Annie is informed by her boss that they're going to the New York Times, and she gets extremely happy to hear that. Later, Annie comes across one of Luke's friends, Andrew, who happened to be her teacher back then. He was there with his wife, Whitney, to meet Luke. She learns that Andrew is doing the documentary as well. Annie informs Andrew that they'd be moving to London soon because of their work. She lies to Andrew, saying that she got accepted into Goldsmith's MFA program at the University of London. Later, on their way back home, Luke gets angry at Annie for lying earlier. Annie then reveals her plan of going to the New York Times since she got accepted. She also wants to tell everyone about her side of the story regarding the school shooting, but since she's not powerful enough, she doesn't want to go against someone like Dean. She gets another flashback where she finds herself in Dean's bathroom. Peyton is going down on her while she's half aware, and Liam walks in, commenting how Patan is still messing with her. After that, she walks into the hallway, incoherent. Patan then grabs Annie and hands her over to Liam, who takes advantage of her. Later, when she's finally awake, she realizes what had happened to her. When she comes across Dean, he also takes advantage of her, but she manages to escape from him. She runs off to a gas station and runs into Andrew there, who takes her to his home. After they get home, he tells Annie that he will call her mother and take her, but Annie refuses. Back in the present, Annie meets up with Aaron, who tells her that Dean wants to meet with her and get everything right. Annie hesitates at first but then agrees. Later, Annie and her mother meet with Luke's family. She tells everyone that she'll be back in a minute and goes inside to watch a video of Dean talking about gun control. She tells Nell, who happened to be there too, what if I couldn't get angry anymore? If she sees Dean in a wheelchair outside, Annie meets Luke's aunt, who is pro-gun. Luke gets uncomfortable when she's talking about guns and goes back inside while muttering insulting remarks about her. He is then followed by her mom. She explains to Annie that she was trying her best to connect with her in-laws just for Annie's sake and that everything will be ruined if they learn about Annie's documentary. Annie then gets offended and leaves. At home, Annie apologizes to Luke, and they make up instantly. She gets another flashback where Liam takes her to a pharmacy to get Plan B. She tells Liam that she didn't want to hook up with anybody else. Liam assures her that it's not a big deal. She tells Liam that she felt like she was raped, which offends him. At school, Andrew tells Annie that he had reported the incident that happened to her to the headmaster. Annie wanted to report the boys to the police, but the headmaster told her that he must inform her mother about everything, or else he won't be able to involve the police. She then stops him and tells him that she's changed her mind. Later, she visits Arthur's home and informs him about Andrew getting fired from school, as he let the students out unsupervised. Arthur then tells Annie about another bullying story that involved Ben and Dean. Ben, who was present there, gets offended and storms off. Now, Arthur didn't want the same thing to keep happening and wanted Annie to do something about it, but Annie was too scared to talk to her mother. Back at school, Dean provokes Arthur, and both of them get into a fight. A teacher tries to break it up, but Arthur ends up hitting her unknowingly. Later, Annie tries to comfort Arthur over getting suspended. Arthur then gets mad at Annie for not speaking up for herself, and Annie straight up walks out. In the present, Annie arrives at the school for the documentary. Erin starts filming and asks Annie what exactly happened that day. She tells everyone how one day, the kitchen of her school suddenly exploded. Somebody had started shooting from the outside. Annie and her classmates hide inside a seemingly safe room, but the shooter was able to access it. It is revealed that Ben was the school shooter. Erin asks Annie, "The witnesses claim that Ben spoke to you as if he knew you very well. What happened?" As he was about to shoot the other students, Annie told Erin that Ben was a victim of bullying as well. He then shoots Peyton before leaving the room. He told everybody that they had to leave. After they leave the room, Ben shoots Liam from behind. As they arrive in the cafeteria, they find Dean is sitting on the floor, unable to move. Just then, Arthur walks in while holding a rifle. He presents the rifle to Annie, urging her to shoot Dean. As Annie hesitates, Arthur grabs the rifle from her hand and shoots one of Dean's legs. Seeing this, Annie takes out the knife she had and stabs Arthur's neck, killing him. After the incident, Annie and her mother go to attend the funerals of the students who got killed. That's when Annie's mother gets informed of everything, and they are sent back to their car. As Annie answers Erin's questions, Dean comes in on his wheelchair. He gets upset when he sees her and leaves. Erin follows her and tries to stop her, but she keeps moving. It is revealed that after the incident, Annie spends 2 more years in the school. She comes across a strong and impressive woman during her senior year and wants to be just like her. At night, Annie comes home to Luke partying with his boys. She tells Luke that she left because she didn't feel right. She shares with Luke that she will write everything down instead to let it out of her system. Luke approves of her idea. The next day, Annie informs her boss that she will be leaving for London soon. She then hands over her story to her boss, asking if the New York Times would want it. After reading her story, her boss tells her to try writing it again, since in this version she is being overly apologetic to the boys who wronged her. Later, Annie visits a library where she finds Dean telling people about his inspiring story. Dean notices her standing and looking at him. He apologizes to Annie for lying about her involvement in the school shooting. However, he says he doesn't know how to explain to the world what happened between them, especially now that he has a wife and daughters. He assures her he will deny what happened that night and will blame her for the students' deaths, claiming she planned the shooting with Arthur and Ben. Annie stays strong and makes Dean admit his mistake. It is revealed she had been recording their conversation. At the rehearsal dinner, Annie finds out her story has been published in the New York Times. She informs Luke, who gets mad at her for including too many unnecessary details. He wanted her to work through things privately. She gets upset and starts crying. Luke tries to comfort her, but she reveals she was using him and took out all her frustration on him. Luke, hurt, leaves. It is revealed that Luke and Annie break up after that. Annie starts her new job at the New York Times. Nell informs her that her story is getting published, and she feels elated. Women who read Annie's story comment on how brave she was for standing up for herself. She even gives an interview on a TV show, which her mother watches anxiously. As Annie finishes her interview and leaves, a woman approaches and insults her. But Annie has the perfect reply and walks away like a queen. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, make sure to watch the next one. Let us know in the comments below how you deal with bullies. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell.